One strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. Welcome to BIOMUTANT. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Deadeye, mercenary. Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freak, Saboteur, Sentinel, Deadeye, Commando, Psy-Freak. Psy-Freak chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you. Your inner voice, to be precise. An echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
So glad you realize who you really are. Let's keep to the bright and better path moving on.
You can't contradict yourself like that. You made the right choice to begin with. Why would you change your mind?
Because you can't deny what's deep within your heart. Sometimes a thought is just a thought. In the end...
But remember, this is just the beginning of the end. Eventually, it'll be my way or the highway.
Guess left can be right, sometimes. Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. Better make a run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. And you were doing so well. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. The oil sludge is everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Ready to take on the world. Itchy trigger finger. Feels good on you? Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The Morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. Boom! Small things for your big ideas. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right. But no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Charge him! Not enough key energy. That's short. That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
Le Yayato e Bubuko von Yunvun.
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of the legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. How LUPA-LUPIN somehow left you alive after his raid on the old village. He must have had a purpose with that. The question is,
Loma toaha, yowotulua.
there's no doubt you're the child, and that what LUPA-LUPIN did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end.
Kutuvun poputue, shintuata moti mopu far kobi.
It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your
Ato wamawa, ko bubuye bui, honto kontua pon yevun koja.
had it asks if you were tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you... The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter. You found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving... You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he... Oh, it'll need a... He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for... He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. The tree started... Records tell of the ruinous devastation. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Nocco has tamed the midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. He wants you to understand that you'll all die. Regardless. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb.